Hello, and how are you this lovely Tuesday afternoon? The other day, Bastille, the music group that some of you might have heard of, their most commonly known song is Pompeii. You might have heard of them. They dropped a new album. It is called Wild World, and I'm actually a pretty big Bastille fan, so I decided that today I'm going to do a Bastille's Wild World review. So, here's the review. It's good. I like it. I actually have kind of a tough time recommending music to people because music is something incredibly personal. Not necessarily in a pretentious sense of like, oh, what's good to me won't be good to you because you don't have the same taste as me. But in a sense of, I am in full understanding of the fact that a lot of the music I really enjoy, I enjoy so much because of some measure of emotional connection I can make with it. That is to say, I can't explain what it is that makes the music good to me because I don't fully understand it myself. It's just, sometimes a song will hit me and it's just like, that's it. That's it right there. And it becomes one of my favorites. And that kind of happened to me with Bastille. I had heard their song Pompeii on the radio a billion times, but it wasn't finally until I heard the song Flaws that I was just like, oh, maybe this band is actually worth looking up. And I looked them up, and they quickly became probably my favorite right about now. And you might be asking, Kevin, if Bastille dropped their album a few days ago, why are you only reviewing it today? Well, I only picked it up today. See, I don't necessarily align myself with, like, the fan base or consider myself to be, like, a super Bastille fan or feel like following the band's all their goings on, because that's just not the type of music fan I am. I am a music fan. I don't really care about the artist's personal life or their touring dates or anything. And I'm not really big into like live performances or anything like that, but that's a whole discussion for another day. And there's nothing wrong with it if you are into that sort of stuff. Absolutely, by no means am I trying to say that. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, as a music fan, that's just not something I've ever really had a particular desire for. But enough talking generally about that. Wild World, the album. All This Bad Blood is, like I said, Bastille is probably my favorite group of all time, and All This Bad Blood is, in my mind, an absolute masterpiece. How well does Wild World hold up? Well, most of the songs are actually really good. I haven't had enough time with all of them to really go ahead and say, like, these songs are good, these songs are bad, these songs are kind of in the middle. And there are 19 songs on the album for $13, the price of a normal album, so in my mind, a pretty good deal. So it's going to take me quite a while to really be able to get into the nitty-gritty and really be able to say, like, oh, these are all the greats, these are all the bads. However, I will say that, at least initially, the songs in particular that stand out to me are Blame, is probably my favorite on the album, and then Send Them Off and Currents are probably also up in like that top echelon of songs. That said, I think that a lot of the songs are absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Good Grief released a few months ago, and it was a fairly high-profile release. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and everyone seems to generally like it. I don't think it's the best on the album, personally. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I don't think it's their best. And I would go through each song one by one, but as I've already stated in multiple different ways, I just haven't had the time to really go through all of them. So what I will say ultimately is that, for me at least, this is better than any other music releases that aren't Bastille. That said, I am coming in with that bias because of that personal connection I've had with their other album. So your mileage may vary, depending on your personal tastes. And I wish that I were a better music critic in that I could explain what makes a song good or bad, but I just don't really have the musical knowledge necessary to really explain that sort of thing. I'm sure you understand. So I'll go ahead and hold off on actually providing a review to the experts and just say, give it a listen. I say it's worth your time, and if you do end up really enjoying it, probably go ahead and buy it, support the artist. It's one of the best things you can actually do if you like someone's work. Anyways, I'll go ahead and say that that is all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I guess I will see you tomorrow.